When you consider how much harm humans have done to natural environment, animals, plants, and whatnot, I feel we have to do something to help. And helping wildlife is incredibly rewarding for us. Obviously, in many cases, it's frustrating, but you do what you can to try to carry on with that particular animal or case. Watching the people that come through here, volunteers, students, summer students in particular, watching them grow, become better people, and move on to great careers. For me, I just find it rewarding seeing what's going on.
3 and 4.
Jamie and Chris, do possums right off the hop?
Yeah, soonish, like maybe 20 minutes.
We used to take in baby opossums, and our mortality rate was 90%. And then one day we had a mother opossum come in. She had been hit by a car. She needed to be euthanized. And as we were taking the babies out of her pouch, we had an epiphany. We realized how Mom did it. Baby possums have this huge mouth. And when you try to feed them with one of those little katak nipples, it just all dribbles out and they don't get any nourishment at all. But the way Mom did it was her nipple would elongate and go right down into the stomach of these baby possums. And we thought, well, of course. And so thereafter, we started tube feeding all of our baby possums. We turned the mortality rate right around. We save now 90%, whereas before we were losing 90%. Opossums are the only marsupial that we have in all of North America. Marsupials, of course, are animals with a pouch. And they're rather unique in a lot of ways. They have a different body temperature than most of the animals that we deal with here. And so they're not subjected to certain viruses and whatnot, don't have an effect on them. They can be bitten by a rattlesnake and it doesn't even give them a buzz. So whereas it would make you and I really sick. And they're going in here, right? Nope.
This way.
There we go. So it's, they're pretty phenomenal that way. They have more teeth in their mouth than any other mammal in North America, which is kind of unique too. It makes for an interesting time when you're trying to feed them as they get a little bit older, especially if you're doing it with a tube, because they just clamp down on the tube and they don't let it go any further. And they have a prehensile tail, kind of similar to an elephant's trunk in the sense that they can pick up small objects with that thing, and they can use it for climbing. And on the subject of climbing, they're excellent climbers. They have an opposing thumb, if you can see that on his hand there, so they can grab things like you and I would. And not only on their front paws, but they have opposing thumbs on their back feet as well. Primates and humans primarily are the ones that have opposing thumbs. But opossums have that as well. So they can grab things just like you and I would. It'd be real convenient if we had opposing thumbs on our feet too. We could climb a lot better than we can otherwise. Opossums, it was hard to find them at all in Ontario here, 10 years ago. But with changing climates and whatnot and increased truck traffic, they have found their way into Ontario. And generally, they're found in the Virginias. In fact, they're called Virginia possums. Found in the Virginias and the Carolinas, where it's quite a bit warmer there than it is here. They hop onto the back of fruit trucks, and when there's maybe 20 degrees above zero when they leave, and when they get here, it's 20 below. So they don't do too well in our Canadian winters. They've got no fur on their ears or their toes or that prehensile tail. And as a result, they suffer miserably from frostbite in our Canadian winters here. But still, some do survive, and so they're becoming more and more common in Ontario. There are some possums in the world that actually have furry tails, so we don't know if our possums here in Ontario will develop that as a result of the as a result of their cold winters that they spend here. But it's unlikely because they have a very short lifespan. In fact, if the first Canadian winter doesn't kill them, the second one usually does. And so the chances of them developing any adaptation to our cold winters is probably pretty slim. And some people think if you poke them and aggravate them enough, they'll roll over and play dead. Got news for you. That doesn't happen very often, if it happens at all. They can be aggressive if they're provoked, and they have teeth that are kind of elliptical. They're very, very sharp. And whereas a raccoon would grab its victim or a person and shake it, and that's how, like a dog, and that's how they do all the damage. Possums just slash, and so they're very quick and they can do a lot of damage. So possums, they only have a 14-day gestation period, which is really remarkable. And when the babies are born, they're about the size of a grain of rice, and they climb up into the pouch, and they latch onto mom, and there they stay. And so when you see a possum that's only a couple of inches big, you know, he may be, in fact, a month old because they're just so small when they start. They're unique in a lot of ways, for sure.
I kind of heard about Salthaven on a whim. My mom just kind of brought it up randomly one time. I was looking for volunteer experience. I applied actually late and still got an interview. So I spent my first year volunteering, and then the next summer I was offered a position in the office, and that was at the old location on Rougham. From there I worked in the clinic for 2 years as a trainer, and now I'm here as the supervisor.
There we go. Okay, let's take him over in the shade. Now we're going to need a crate as well, because when that comes off, he's going to be gone like a dart.
So my role here basically is just supervising what's going on in the clinic, going through the treatment plans with the trainers, helping them out, keeping things rolling with the animals, and reassessing treatment plans, releases, and things like that.
I figure you'll need your right hand to cut, but you can have chainmail on your left.
Okay. We're going to need, you got chainmail on?
Here, you get one on your left hand?
I got both on, so you put that
You got chainmail on?
Yeah.
On both hands?
Yep.
Okay.
I was going to hold if you cut.
Yep.
Does that work?
Do you need a glove, Brian? Probably not for dexterity, eh?
No, I'll be okay. We'll bring that one over here.
Max has gone to grab a net just in case there's...
Good call.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on top of here so that we can just shove him right in. Yep, that's no baby. All right, so as soon as that thing comes off his head, we'll shove him right in.
Okay, so you want him here though, right?
Yep. It'll take him a couple of minutes just to get his bearings.
Him?
I think you can grab him with 2 hands if you can.
He's really stressed.
Okay. Got him. Gotta get this off quick. He's gonna go crazy as soon as this comes off, eh? Chocolate.
He can't be released.
No, he's gonna have to be cleaned up. Got him. Okay, you can go right in.
My favorite part about being here is probably the atmosphere. It doesn't feel like work, which is nice compared to some other jobs. There's so many times where I'm just outside or doing something really cool and I'm just going, I'm getting paid to do this. Yeah, it doesn't feel like work. It's just a really nice atmosphere. Everyone is friends and family and everyone gets along. We're all here for the same reason. So yeah, that's my favorite part.
Right. He may clean himself up. What we'll do is we'll get the rabies pole and we'll pull him out with that, and then we'll clean him up. Tell him to pull his car in the shade.
Ask him if he wants a freebie.
Water, freezy, anything.
What can we get you?
So there's a classic example of how we can avoid animals getting their head stuck in plastic containers or peanut butter jars, is to rinse these things out really, really good before you put them in the garbage or recycling. That way, if an animal does come along and he sticks his head in, there's nothing in there to get out, first of all, so reduces the impetus for him to want to do that. But the other thing that we can do is to just cut the sides, just like so. Then if they do stick their head in there, at least he's got some room to pull it out. But yeah, see more of that than we'd like to.
Shoulder on this side.
It's the same.
No, I think it's
under the leg on that one.
Is it?
Yep. Okay,
Down.
so we can put it down. Okay, if you just hold his body down.
Do you want the gloves, Brian?
No, we just need the cloth that we're going to wipe him
Slide
with.
that over.
We're just trying to get a lot of that chocolate off so it doesn't attract flies and make his life miserable once he's back in the wild. We're not going to be able to get it all off, but we can get a lot of it off. Okay, lift him up. I think he knows we're trying to help him. Checking for ticks while we're at it. Okay, he's feeling better. Let's keep him here and we will take him back to where he needs to go. Make sure he gets there. Okay, it's okay. Can you squeeze him back in there? Okay.
back up.
Tip it up.
I think I'd like to spend a while here. I'm not sure what else I would do in the future yet. Maybe more school, but even then, if I went back to school, I'd hope that it would be something that I could bring back here if I were to do research or a master's, something like that. But otherwise, I want to stay here for a bit, watch Salthaven grow, because I think it has a lot of potential to become even more than what it is, and go from there. All right. So I'll give you guys just this bowl, just for now. Thank you. So this is Rex.
Did one of them shed recently?
Gus.
Gus.
Yes.
Yes. And he already did it?
Yep.
Zelda.
Yes.
Yes.
So Gaselda and Rexanne, they were originally Rex and Gus until they both laid eggs, and we figured out that they were female. So they're both rat snakes. Rex was first found in the Kellogg factory in London, eating all the mice in there, being extra fed. Scared some poor worker to death, and has been at Salthaven ever since. Gus was found out west and was also shipped out here and has basically been our friend ever since. They're very used to people. Brian and Mel will take them out to presentations, and the kids love them. Even sometimes our older audience likes them a little less, but the kids always do. And yeah, so we'll just bring them out. We can take them out basically each shift, so 3 times a day. And they love to just hang out in the grass, in the sun. So we can find a good grassy spot. We'll maybe move over to the other yard where it's a little shadier. And then we can pick some greens while we're at it too. And then we just put them down and they go for their little walk. So this little guy came to us on May 28th. He was hit by a car and he had a fracture on the dorsal side of his shell, just across there. Didn't need a lot of attention, but we did want to make sure that there was no infection present. And now he's all ready to go.
They can grow to be about twice that size. So this isn't a particularly old painted turtle. Of the 7 species that are in Ontario, they're all either endangered or threatened, and which is really too bad. They're an important part of the ecosystem. And a lot of them get run over on roads. This time of the year especially, snapping turtles are looking for a very coarse substrate to lay their eggs, and so often end up at the side of a road in the gravel. It's a shame that these turtles get run over the way they do, because it takes a snapping turtle, for instance, about 20-25 years to reach sexual maturity. So their reproduction is very slow. And up till about a year or two ago, they were allowed to be hunted even though they were an endangered species. So these little guys are an important part of that ecosystem too. They lay their eggs, and sometimes, if they lay their eggs too late, the babies will hatch out of the egg and they'll remain subterranean until the spring. And then they crawl out in the spring. There he goes. And he's gone. Take the chipmunk, I'll take these other. Sure. Okay.
So he came to us on June 7th. He was caught by a cat and doesn't look like there were any punctures or any visible wounds, but due to the bacteria in cats' mouths, we always keep them at least for 3 days on an antibiotic to prevent any infection. So he's all good to go now. He's eating lots. He's a good weight, and he looks like he's ready to go.
He's a chipper chipmunk.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Let's see. Will you come up the top? He's trying to chew his way out.
He's an escape artist. He already got out on us this morning.
All right. We'll do it your way. These guys came to us in March, and they were babies at the time, so they had to be fed by hand. So they were old enough to let go quite about a month ago, but we can't do that until they're no longer dependent on people. So they go into pre-release cages for about 4 to 6 weeks to get them wild. They're eating on their own. They've been together with their own kind, and before we're convinced that they're going to make it in the wild. So, ready to go. Come on. Come on out. Whoa! Come on. Come on out. Come on. Ooh, he's feisty. Come on. Let's go. No, don't come back. Just to the other end of this fallen log here.
Okay.
Should be good.
Okay. So they came to us in the beginning of May. They all came in separately, not as a group, but they were all separately orphaned from different litters. So we were formula feeding them with a syringe and nipple, and now they're onto their solids, and they've been with us for a good month or so now, and they are definitely ready to go. They are escape artists, so hopefully they'll just come right out.
There goes one. Maybe just, yeah, take it right off. Just tip it sideways, maybe. There's a red squirrel population here, and we've released red squirrels here before. We think they're doing pretty good, but there's plenty of things for them to eat here, and lots of places to hide. We know there's a red squirrel population here because we've seen them here before. So if it can support that population, we know that these guys will probably do okay too. Their biggest challenge is going to be finding where that food is, because up till now, as youngsters, they've been fed in a enclosed environment. So like a tree is all brand new to this little guy. Like he doesn't know what the heck is going on. But they'll get the hang of it pretty quick. They're fast learners.
If you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, and maybe you don't know what that is, but you want to give back in some way, you know, consider Salthaven. Even if you're nervous, even if you don't like bugs or goose poop or animals that hiss and growl at you, when you come out here, you will be trained, you will be appreciated. It's a great group of people. They don't ask for a ton of time. It is a weekly commitment, but it's a great place to volunteer. It's such an opportunity. You will learn so much, and you will leave, I promise you that you will leave with a smile every time you come here, no matter how much poop you have on you. It is rewarding in terms of the education, the experiences, and all the little unexpected things that happen here.
1, 2, 3.
If I had one message for everyone, when you're out there, when you're outside, walking your dog, going camping, going fishing, going hunting, out with the kids, listen and look and pay attention. There's lots to see, and it's really important that we take care of it.